जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन जय ब्रजजनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Shri Hari Naam Sankirtan ki, कृष्ण कृपा मूर्ति जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरतुषे नमः। नमो ब्रह्मण्यदेवाय गोब्राह्मण्यहिताय च जगद्हिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। चैप्टर 1 मासिक 37 श्लोक Hare Krishna. Sure. So on behalf of His Divine Grace, Abhayachan Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, we welcome all you devotees. So as you know, last Friday, before that, His Grace Sandeep Krishna Prabhu started a new study of Bhagavad Gita. As we know, we've been practicing Krishna consciousness for quite some time. But then Prabhupada said, just don't read my books, but study them, right? One is reading and one is studying, right? Every day we read newspaper, magazines, okay? And what is studying? Studying is different, right? What we tell our children to do. Yeah, so before that, what was covered? Chapter 1. And in that, we saw the name of the chapter is Observing the Armies on the Battlefield. And suddenly, Arjuna becomes very bewildered. Oh, he becomes overwhelmed, and he gives 5 reasons not to fight. So first is compassion, then enjoyment, and today we will just go further. I think Prabhu had given you all the homework, so we'll just continue from verse number 37, and that is what Arjuna says now. So if you have the Bhagavad Gita thing, chapter 1, shloka number 36. So now here Arjuna further says, Papam evashayedasman hatvaitanatatainah tasmanara hantum dhartarashtran sabandhavan swajanam hi katam hatva sukina shama madhava. So now Arjuna is now talking about what all the Kauravas have done in their life. Okay? Yeah. So he talks about there are 6 kind of aggressors. What he says? Papam eva shayedasman hatvaitan atatainah. Atatainah means aggressors. And if you see the purport, Prabhupada talks according to the Vedic injunction, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. First is, if you see on the screen, it is mentioned a poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and finally, one who kidnaps a wife. So if you see, all these 6 things were done to the Pandavas. So we know when Bhima was very small, okay, Duryodhana used to he was very envious of Bhima. So once while during the play thing, like they were small, they used to play together. One day, Duryodhana, what he did, unknowingly he gave him something to eat which was filled with poison. And then he was thrown in the river. And then there the Naga, the Vasuki, he knew he is a devotee of the Lord. And that's how he revived him back. So this was done by Duryodhana. So poison was given. Then one who sets fire to the house. So we know the Duryodhana and company, they built a very nice palace like Lakshagraha. And what was the idea? That it will be set on fire and all the Pandavas will die. But who saved them? Their uncle Vidura. So Vidura he knew this Duryodhana, he used to always keep a watch on Pandavas. Because he knew these people are just hell-bent to kill these pious sons of Pandu. So he made a tunnel and made sure all of them come out. And finally the house was set on fire, and there was another family of Nishad who was there who died. And Duryodhana and company thought, Pandavas mar gaye, apna plan successful ho gaya, but it was not. Because what was the condition? 12 years Agyatwas and 1 year, Vanvas and 1 year Agyatwas. So they have to live in incognito. Nobody should recognize they are Pandavas. In case they are caught, they are again that renew ho jayega. Again 12 years Vanvas. So now what happened? They thought they are dead in this Lakshagra. So that's how that 1 year was, they could live in incognito. Then one who attacks with deadly weapons. So ye to hamesha Duryodhana used to always ploy something or the other to attack them. And one who plunders riches. Okay, actually Hastinapur belonged to Yudhishthir Maharaj, but Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana had illegally occupied it. One who occupies another's land. So see, in today's Kali Yuga, there are so many Atataina who illegally occupy other people's land. And one who kidnaps a wife. And who was this? Here they did not kidnap, but they insulted Draupadi, right? She was such a chaste woman, but in the course of the gambling match, they purposely, Prabhupada writes, it was entirely rigged, and that's how they wanted to strip her naked. But by Krishna's arrangement, she was saved. So all these six things were done by Duryodhana and company. So they were actually meant to be killed. But here what Arjuna is saying, that by doing this, what will happen? We will get sinful reaction. See. Okay, Kaurava did all the 6 kinds of aggression to Pandavas, hence killing them would not give them any sinful reaction, because as per Shastra, such people can be killed. Okay, so, and here, see, every time Arjuna is addressing Krishna by different names, somewhere he is calling him Rishikesha. What does Rishikesh means? One who gives pleasure to senses. So what Prabhupada explains to us, that by calling Rishikesh, Arjuna is saying, Krishna, you act in such a way that it gives pleasure to my senses. So मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ, आप ऐसा करेंगे तो मेरे इंद्रिय को तृप्ति मिले. So what Prabhupada says, we are meant to give pleasure to Krishna's senses. Now here he is using a word, Swajanam hi katam hatva sukina shama Madhava. So Madhava means husband of goddess of fortune. So he is saying, you are supposed to bring fortune. You are the husband of goddess of fortune. But what you are trying to do, you are trying to engage us in this war, which will actually bring all destruction. So he is saying, live up to your name. You are Madhava. Bring some fortune to us. Ye war mat karao. And then Prabhupada gives a beautiful example in this. Okay. So Lord Ramchand, he gives the example of Lord Ramchand. For example, Lord Ramchand was a saintly person. Now here, Arjuna is a saintly person. He is a devotee of the Lord. But that doesn't mean that because you are a devotee, you will forgive. Even if devotee wants to forgive, Krishna will never forgive one who has offended his devotee. So devotee by nature, they are soft-hearted. We'll come to know later whether actually Arjuna's soft-heartedness was correct or not. But here, for example, Lord Ram was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in a kingdom of Lord Ram Rajya. But Lord Ram never showed any cowardice. So cowardice is one thing and saintly behavior is one thing. Ravan was an aggressor against Rama. क्या किया था रावण ने? Yeah, he had kidnapped Sita. So यहाँ बताया ना, one who kidnaps a wife. So Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. Okay, and Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because Ravana kidnapped Rama's wife, Sita. But Lord Ram gave him sufficient lessons unparalleled in the history of the world. So in Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressor. Abhi यहाँ पे, why Arjuna is given little leniency? Because he was dealing with whom? His own family members. Now Ravan had no connection with Krishna, right? He was a complete asura staying in Sri Lanka. But these people, they grew up with Pandavas. From बचपन से उन्हीं के साथ रह रहे थे, खेल रहे थे. So Arjuna had to deal with whom? His family. So here, so Arjuna, that would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings. ये बहुत ही एक important है. So always remember, see, Arjuna addressing of Krishna as Madhava or the husband of goddess of fortune is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna, who Arjuna, that as the husband of goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. And Prabhupada ends how? Krishna, however, never brings misfortune. What to anyone? To say nothing of his devotees. So Krishna never brings misfortune to anyone. So bhakton ko to 100% nahi. And it is said, whoever left their bodies on the battle of Kurukshetra, because Krishna was present, they actually attained their spiritual identity. Hata Gata Swarupam. And who is telling this? Bhishma. If you see Bhishma's Stuti in Bhagavatam, so he is telling Arjuna, because Yudhishthir Maharaj, because Yudhishthir Maharaj was very, he was lamenting, because to make me a king, itna sara bloodshed hua, so many people are killed. But Bhishma is saying, don't worry. Whoever died on the battle of Kurukshetra, they attained their spiritual form. So here, because of that, Prabhupada is writing. So Krishna never brings any misfortune. So we'll quickly go to the next shloka. Today we'll cover till 2.7. Then, Now here he talks about family destruction. Okay, yadyapete na pashyami pashyanti lobo pahata chetasa. This is 37-38. Kulakshaya kritam dosham mitra dohe cha patakam katam nagneyam asmabhi papadasman nivartitum kulakshaya kritam dosham prapashyadbir janardana. O Janardan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friend, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying family, engage in action of sin? So Arjuna is now talking about family destruction. So basically, what happens when wars and all take place? There is a lot of people get killed in the war, right? So what happens when people are killed in war? The family traditions, like who keep the family traditions alive? The seniors in the family, right? So when they are not there, then what will happen? There is nobody to guide the younger generation. So this is Arjuna's argument, which is happening today, right? So until we came to Krishna consciousness, we were just following manodharma. Whatever we were feeling is right, and whatever agarbati, mumbati, we used to just offer agarbati, ek diya lagao, aisa do. And many people circumambulate themselves, right? Actually, it is wrong. वो क्या है? They feel we are as good as God. You must have seen, no? If you go to all these Kuldev temples, even today, because due to ignorance, how they circumambulate, वो खड़े रहते, हाथ जोड़ेंगे, and then they only circumambulate 7 times and offer. What does that mean? They feel Paramatma is there in my heart, so let me circumambulate myself. So which is wrong. So इस तरह से Arjuna is giving his argument. Then in the 39th, he talks about Kulakshaya pranashanti kula dharma sanatana dharme nashte kula krishnam adharmo bhi bhavat uta. So with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Now here we have to understand what is dharma. So what Arjuna is talking about Kula Dharma, it is not that Sanatan Dharma. Kula Dharma means Dharma which is material, right? Because when this entire universe will be annihilated, all this Kula, all these dynasties will be annihilated. Nothing will remain. What will only remain is Sanatan Dharma, right? And what is Sanatan Dharma? Sanatan Dharma is basically that Dharma which is eternal. And here Prabhupada talks about Varnashram. So, to bring us to the point of Sanatan Dharma, or worshipping the Supreme Lord, this entire Varnashram Dharma was created by Krishna himself. So, in Bhagavatam, this verse comes, okay? Ata Pumbir Vijashreshta Varnashrama Vibhagashah Swa Anushtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhim Hari Toshanam. So what is Varnashram Dharma? 4 Varnas and 4 Ashrama. So what are the 4 Varnas? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And what are the 4 Ashram? Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. So this entire thing was developed why? So slowly by being in your ashram and your varna as per your nature. Today what is happening? Today, without understanding the nature, it is like just a flock of sheep. So, अगर सब engineer बन रहे हैं, तो मुझे भी engineer बनना है. So today, nobody is seeing what is the nature of the person, right? Everybody sees what should I do, which will give me a job, which will give me more money, or something that will give me prosperity. Everything in terms of material. So it is not that if somebody's nature is that he has got the qualities of a, say, Brahmana, or somebody has qualities of Kshatriya. But that is not taken into account. Account is what? Just somehow or the other, you have to earn money. And Prabhupada writes, a society which does not follow Varnashrama is basically an animal society. Why? Because goal of life they do not know. Samsiddhim Hari Toshanam. हाँ, अतः पुंबिर द्विजश्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रम विभागश, ये सब डिवीजन क्यों किया था? सो बाय फॉलोइंग योर वर्णा, फॉलोइंग योर आश्रम, फॉलोइंग योर नेचर, slowly and steadily where you come to the point to satisfy the Supreme Lord, who is our goal of life. Samsiddhim Hari Toshanam. So here the elder members are responsible for such, and then Prabhupada writes about the different samskaras. Okay, so ये वर्णाश्रम आश्रम मतलब following how having different samskaras. So if today we ask what are the different samskaras, क्या क्या संस्कार हम लोग करते हैं बताओ? हाँ, प्री डिलीवरी फोटो शूट, दिस आर आवर संस्कारास, राइट? एंड देन टू बी फादर, टू बी मदर बोल के वी हैव दिस ऑल दिस बिग इवेंट्स. ओके, जो द मदर हु इज carrying, she should be actually given total rest. She should be reading scriptures. She should be concerned the बेबी विच इज़ इन माई वूम, उसका क्या होगा. हाँ, वो छोड़ के क्या ये सब चल रहा है. हाँ, बड़े बड़े फंक्शन, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, सब फोटो रखते हैं वो लोग. और जब बेबी और पूरा दिन मोबाइल में, दैट्स द रीज़न यू शुड नॉट बी सरप्राइज्ड व्हेन द चिल्ड्रन ऑफ टुडे कैन अनलॉक देयर फोन्स, दे कैन ओपन यूट्यूब. भी बोलते हैं ना कि बच्चे लोग कैसे चला रहे हैं, क्योंकि माँ ने, यू नो प्रहलाद महाराज, नो, वेयर डिड ही लर्न हिज भक्ति? इन द वूम ऑफ हिज मदर, राइट? सो that is how it is. So whatever we are doing, ऐसा मत सोचे कि when baby comes out वो pre nursery जाएगा, KG1 and then learning. The learning actually begins from the womb. So varnashram dharma. So there are actually 40 samskaras, out of which the main are few. Like सबसे पहला संस्कार क्या है? If you are a real concerned parent, सबसे पहला संस्कार है गर्भदान. गर्भदान मीन्स व्हेन अ फादर एंड मदर दे यूनाइट, उसके पहले उनका कॉन्शियसनेस हैज़ टू बी वेरी वेरी प्योर. इट इज़ वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम टुडेज वेयर पीपल गेट मैरिड एंड दे आर फुल विथ पैशन, गोइंग फॉर हनीमून एंड जस्ट इंजॉइंग. सो एक महाराज बोल रहे थे, चिल्ड्रन हु आर born out of such consciousness will be such crazy population which we see today. Because Maharaj ekdam bluntly he says, because you didn't control yourself at that time, today you cannot control your children. बोलते हैं ना, हमारे बच्चों को हम कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाए, कुछ सुनते नहीं. दिस इज बिकॉज वॉट वॉज योर कॉन्शियसनेस व्हेन यू आर कंसीविंग देम. सो फर्स्ट इज गर्भदान. हमारे इस्कॉन में तो देर आर वेरी वंडरफुल डिवोटीज हु चैंट like 32-64 rounds, because they are now entering into begetting a child that will be like, who will be a Vaishnava, right? They do not think like अभी खाली family आगे बढ़ाना है इसलिए नहीं. They think, they are concerned, so we should get a child that will be a devotee. So that is Garbhadan. Then after they are born, then that is Jatkaram. We make Jatak, no? Horoscope. That is also samskara. Namkaran, Annaprashan, when they first eat the solid food. So this is our Vedic civilization, जो हम सब भूल गए हैं, right? Then Vidyaram, when they start, their first time when they start to learn, okay? Then Upanayana, what is Upanayana? Thread ceremony. So these are all samskaras. Don't think this is some kind of just एक धागा पहन लिया. No, that is also samskara. Then we have विवाह, इवन मैरिज इज अ संस्कारा. आजकल मतलब शादी टिके यही बड़ी बात है, संस्कारा तो छोड़ दो. राइट, व्हाट इट इज, लव एट फर्स्ट साइट, डिवोर्स एट फर्स्ट फाइट. ओके, देन इज फाइनली व्हेन वी लीव दिस बॉडी, दैट इज अंतिम संस्कार. सो these are the primary which I read, but there are so many like that. So this is how it is, Varnashrama, our Vedic tradition. So this is how we should actually follow. Actually Prabhupada said, there is one thing which I couldn't fulfill and I want my disciples to fulfill. मैंने बहुत, I gave books, I gave the Hare Krishna Mahamantra translation, but there is one thing which is unfulfilled, and that is establishing Varnashram Dharma. Prabhupada said that I couldn't. वो एक pending है with my. So we have a lot of farm communities now, even in India. Like there are many people where they have given up everything and they live in these farms. What they do, they live totally the way people used to live behind in previous So if you want to go and experience, one of the closest is in Belgaum, Zamboti. Okay, so there is a, so everything is natural. At night there is no bulb, nothing, कुछ भी नहीं है वहाँ पे. So at night they live at the shelter of Chandrama, at the moon. So इस तरह से everything is natural, even the toilets, everything, वहाँ पे कुछ नहीं. So and Prabhupada used to say, like, what is simple living and high thinking? Grow your own food. Okay, so when you grow your own food, you have your own cloth. फिर आपको ये 6 to 9, I mean 9 to 6, sorry, इतना काम करते ना टाइम भी भूल जाते हैं. तो 6 to 9 का ये जॉब, ओवर टाइम, ये सब का आपको झंझट नहीं रहेगा. सो यू कैन completely chant Hare Krishna. Now, yeah, it is not practical for everyone, but then if you are serious, determined, then we can do it. Okay. So people, depending on our seriousness, how much we actually want to go back to Krishna in this very lifetime, we can. So here Arjuna is talking about Kulakshaya Pranashanti. So all this Kula Dharma will, what will happen? It will be destroyed. Okay. And what will happen when Dharma is destroyed? What will give rise to Adharma? So this is one more reason Arjuna is giving. So then, Adharmat vibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya strishu dushtashu varshneya jayate varna sankara. So now here Arjuna is talking about when there is nobody to protect the women in war, when all the males will be killed. So normally we have seen, right, when there is a war and all, the country which wins, the first who they try to capture, the women, and they are exploited. Prabhupada in his lecture says that कि ये जब war सब होता है ना, सबसे first the women population is exploited by this all the winning country. So that's the reason when women are exploited, then what will give rise to? It will give rise to unwanted progeny. When irreligious is prominent in the family of Krishna, women of the family become polluted, and the degradation of womanhood or descendant of Vrishni comes unwanted progeny. So that's the reason women have to be always protected. Prabhupada used to always say this. When they are young, by father; when they are of marriageable age, by the husband; and when a husband retires and takes maybe sannyas, that time under the care of his son. So women, no time, in no situation we can say that women is independent. Now, ये ऐसा नहीं कि we are trying to what you call only men are superior. Or this has nothing to do with that. These are all created by the people of today who are in ignorance. So when women try to be independent, no, they only get exploited, right? Because Chanakya Pandit, if you say, he says the women's, they are less intelligent. Now, Mataji log galat mat sochiye. Why he says less intelligent? Because you all have a nature which is very soft heartedness. आपको कोई भी easily, मतलब इसीलिए ना बच्चे लोग माँ के साथ ज़्यादा रहते हैं ना. वो even if they do some mischief, the mother will beat or anything, but then like, हम पिताजी वगैरह कैसे रहते हैं, एकदम कड़क. रहने दो उसको 3 दिन बिना खाए, तभी सुधरेगा वो. Right? They say no, mother cannot, she doesn't know maths. Whenever she gives half roti, no, it is not even half, it is like एक छोटा सा पीस रहता है. So she says, I'll take half, you take half. लेकिन वो half roti कितना रहता है, एकदम छोटा सा पीस. They love their children so much. But this is how it is. So that's the reason a woman should always be protected. If you see our Vedic culture, the 3 biggest posts is given to the women. Okay, finance ministry, defense ministry, and education ministry. Right? Lakshmi, Saraswati, and who is Durga. So women is actually respected in our Vedic Sanatan Dharma. So here now in Kali Yuga, women have to always be, and since you are soft-hearted, okay, what happens? Anybody can easily take advantage. So when you are under protection, the society remains clean. So that's the reason women have to be always protected. So Arjuna is saying, so if we take in this war, if everybody dies, and then what will happen to the women population? Okay, they will be exploited, and out of the exploitation will come unwanted progeny. So that's the reason. Let us not. So according to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different are not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to good population eligible for participating in varnashrama system. On the failure of such varnashram dharma, naturally the women become free to act and mix with men. Now that's the reason यहाँ पे हम लोग क्यों अलग अलग बैठते हैं? Because this free mixing will lead to unwanted activities, and that's the reason even when Prabhupada started it, so many people ask, why you all call Mataji, Behenji kyun nahi? Okay, so Prabhupada said, no all such nonsense, Behenji and all. When you say Mataji means mother. When you say somebody your mother, then your consciousness totally changes, right? इसकी वजह से प्रभु जी ने कभी भी अपने वाइफ को माताजी नहीं बोलना चाहिए. ओके, रियली you call, okay, yeah, really you can call them by name. And Prabhujis who want to get married and you're looking for some girl within ISKCON, till you get married you can call them by name. क्योंकि माताजी माताजी बोल के फिर प्रपोजल फिक्स हुआ, अरे इसको तो मैं पूरा लाइफ माताजी बोल रहा हूँ. It's reality. This is consciousness. We are not calling माताजी as a lip service, right? अगर आप किसी को माताजी बोल रहे हैं एंड फिर बोल रहे हाँ माताजी मुझे ये लड़की पसंद है, और आप पूरा 2-3 साल उनके साथ अब माताजी माताजी, so how you cannot call somebody your mother, right? So it is makes sense. So it is all consciousness. When we are calling somebody माताजी, we are looking them as a mother, right? अपने नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर विदाउट लुकिंग ही कॉल्ड हिज वाइफ माताजी. उन्हें देखा नहीं कौन, उसके बाद बोला नहीं मैंने आपको माता बोल दिया, अभी अपना रिलेशन जस्ट वंस बाय मिस्टेक खत्म, बोला अभी से आप मेरी माँ जैसी है. So our acharyas are giving us this example by their own example. So when we are calling somebody Mataji, yes, you are my mother. So कभी कभी प्रभु जी लोग बोलते मेरी माताजी नहीं आई आज प्रोग्राम में. So you should call your wife by name. Okay. So and Shankaro then now here we move to 41. Sankaro naraka eva kulaghnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesham lupta pindodaka kriya. Now ये अभी just पितृ पक्ष हो गया ना. So now see, Arjuna is such an intelligent person. He's not a person like उसको काम नहीं करना है इसलिए भाग जाना है. He's giving all such amazing argument. मतलब वो कृष्णा के सामने, मतलब he's standing in front of Krishna and giving him such wonderful. So another reason is like once all these family traditions are broken, then what will happen to our forefathers? Here, an increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performance for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. So basically, when our forefathers pass away, if they've gone to Vaikunta, well, they are matlab ho gaya, nothing like it. But mostly, since we are not following the actual dharma, likely if they've done pious activities, they'll go to Swarga. And Swarga mein kya hoga? They will only, whatever pious activities they have accredited, slowly wo kam hote jayega. And when their bank balance of pious activities is zero, they will again come to the earthly planet. And jinhone paap kiya hai, who have sinful, they will go down. And then remaining will go to Pitraloka. And then who are very, very sinful, like people who commit suicide, because they did not complete their duration in this body, until their duration is not complete, they will not get a body. So वो लोग subtle body में रहते. So all these people, what happens? We have to take care of them by providing this udak and pinda. Pinda is this food and udak. So if you do not, then what happens? They get, मतलब उनको भी भूख लगता है, right? And they also get angry. वो बोलते हैं ना पितृ दोष. Our forefathers may be angry, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, and वो भटजी भी बोलते हैं आपने ऐसा नहीं किया. So that's the reason it is the duty of us. That day morning program, Govind Prabhuji was saying that even though he tells Prahlad Maharaj, even though I have touched your father, he is liberated, but still you have to perform this Shraddha. Narsimha Dev tells Prahlad Maharaj. So imagine Lord delivered and still he told Prahlad, you have to perform this सेरेमनी. सो हमको तो करना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि हम अभी भी अपना वो लेवल का डिवोशन नहीं है कि हम बोल सकते हैं नाउ आई एम टोटली सरेंडर टू कृष्णा, सो माय फोर फादर्स विल एनी वे गेट बेनिफिटेड. ऐसा बोल नहीं सकते. सो एज अ फैमिली ट्रेडिशन वी हैव टू कंटिन्यू. नाउ हियर प्रभुपाद टॉक्स अबाउट डिफरेंट डेटर्स. क्या क्या ऋण है? तो क्या क्या ऋण है हमारे? पक्का? मैं सोचा आप लोग बोलेंगे ऑटो लोन का ऋण है, फ्लैट का ऋण है, एजुकेशन लोन ऋण है, क्योंकि इन टुडे इसमें हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, अरे ये पहला कर्जा चुकाने दो फिर देखते हैं फोर फादर्स को. कुछ भी करके नहीं गए, सब हमारे पे छोड़ के गए. राइट? देयर आर सम पीपल बोलते हैं ना, ये इसके पास इतना पैसा है, इसका 7 पुश्ती आराम से जी सकता है. लेकिन हमारे फोर फादर्स ने बोला तुम यू क्रिएट दैट 7 पुश्ती का पैसा. सो क्या क्या ऋण है हमको? ये तो ऋण है ही, ये फ्लैट वगैरह तो वो कृष्णा के कृपा से हो जाएगा. राइट? तो देवर्षिर भूताप नाम पितृनाम न किंकरो नायम ऋणी च राजन सर्वात्मना यह शरणम शरण्यम गतो मुकुंदम परिरित्य कर्तम. सो वी हैव we are debtors to demigods, we are debtors to all these saintly persons, rishigan, we are debtors to bhuta apta. Bhuta means other living entities, and we are debtors to pitrinam and pitras. So why we are debtors to all these demigods? Indra provides us rain, Surya Dev provides us sunshine. ऐसा हर कोई हमको दे रहा है. So it is our duty. Then other living entities, and finally our spiritual master, because they are giving us knowledge, all this rishigan. And similarly pitras, because they brought this entire क्या बोलते हैं lineage, we are there in this lineage. So it is our duty to take care of this pitras. Now in Bhagavatam it is said, one who takes sarvatmana, this is the important word, sarvatmana, one who has completely surrendered to Krishna, complete, So for him there is no such, because he has taken complete he is completely surrendered to Krishna. He doesn't have any debts, because that's the reason we were saying now Pitru Paksha is going on. If anybody wants to offer prasadam to Vaishnavas, you can offer, right? So what happens? This Shraddh ceremony, this entire thing is first offered to Vishnu, and then that Mahaprasad is offered to the Pitras. So by having this Mahaprasad, they get the benefit, because it is prasad offered to Vishnu. So that's the reason Arjuna is saying we. Now here dekho, the superiors are killed, so destruction of the dynasty. So what will happen? The ekdam chronology dekho, chronology ko samjho. The superiors are killed. That leads to destruction of the dynasty. Destruction of eternal family tradition means all these Vedic rituals will stop. Irreligion predominate in the family. So क्या होगा when you do not perform any religious activity? What will happen? People will be irreligious. Then what will happen due to this irreligious? Women become polluted, so unchaste. And finally, what will happen to this? Unwanted progeny. So this all kinds of community, मतलब जो भी इस society में to live a very peaceful life, all such community projects will not be there, and family are devastated, and result of that is chaos in the society, which we are seeing, right? If you go in all these big cities, Mumbai, if you see their life, it is total chaos. मतलब वो लोग सुबह निकलते हैं, शाम को आते हैं, बीच में कुछ भी नहीं, just earning money and living life heading nowhere. So this is how this entire war, Arjuna is saying, will lead to this Varna Sankara. It will lead to Varna Sankara, unwanted progeny. And finally he says, so by, O Krishna, maintainer of people, I have heard, and now this is very important. Now all this what Krishna is talking, it is not that he is just, मतलब वो कुरुक्षेत्र के वॉर पे उसके दिमाग में आया है. So he is saying in the 43rd shloka, he is saying, उत्सन्न कुल धर्मा नाम मनुष्या नाम जनार्दना नरके नियतम वासो भवतति अनु शुश्रुमा. And Prabhupada says, Okay, I have heard this from authorities. अभी तक जो भी अर्जुन ने ये आर्गुमेंट, whatever argument Arjuna had given, it is not that he didn't want to fight and he started talking. Here he is clarifying, Bhavatiti, I have heard it from authorities. That's the reason what we also should, how do we take knowledge? We also take knowledge from the authorities. ऐसा नहीं कि you're just traveling and somebody is telling you something, वहाँ से थोड़ा लिया, you're waiting for some bus, वहाँ पे कोई बोल रहा है वहाँ से लिया, नहीं. It has to be from authority, not just from here and there. See, Arjuna bases his argument not on his own personal experience, but what he has heard from the authorities. Right? इसलिए हम लोग ये भगवद गीता प्रभुपाद का लेके हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं. ओके, हम लोग ऐसे नहीं कि चलो आज कुछ तो भगवद गीता पे बोलना है, so let us just take shlokas and talk. No, we are talking what Prabhupada is saying, what our Acharya is saying. That is the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is really already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnashram institution by which before death one has to undergo the process of atonement, prayashchitta, for his sinful activities. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called prayashchitta. Without doing so, one surely will be transformed to hellish planet to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities. That's the reason when all these people who do whatever murder and all, na, so when they get what you call, when they get hanged by, when the judge passes the judgment to be hanged until death, so actually क्या होता है, which he had to suffer because of this judgment, what happens? His sinful reaction is curtailed, right? So all these politicians, they should actually ना प्रायश्चित करना चाहिए. They should go and tell मैंने ये सब किया है. Otherwise, whichever people we see, no, and nowadays in our day-to-day life, कोई लंगड़ा है, कोई, they are all people पहले के मतलब after India became independence जो उन्होंने किया था ना, now they are actually suffering for that. हमको पता नहीं कौन कौन है, but actually that is the reality. So when you get your punishment within this body, whatever sinful activities you have done, it gets curtailed. Means you have suffered for that. So if you do not, then again you have to pay for that karma in your next life. इसके वजह से इसी जन्म में प्रायश्चित करना चाहिए. Prabhupada talks about that. And finally, the first chapter, Sanjaya ends by saying, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast his bow aside and arrow aside and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelming with grief. And now we enter the second chapter, where first of all, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudan, Krishna spoke the following words. Sanjaya uvacha tam tata kripaya vishtam ashru purna kuleshanam vishidantam idam vakyam uvacha Madhusudana. Now here Madhusudana is used, Prabhupada is saying, because Krishna once killed a demon called Madhu. And now what has happened to Arjuna? The demons of ignorance and doubts have overcome Arjuna. So now Krishna will be killing all these doubts. So Krishna will be killing. इसके लिए this word Madhusudan has been used. And here now Prabhupada gives two analogy. Now we go to the second chapter. So here Prabhupada talks about compassion. So, okay, sign of real self is sign of ignorance of real self is material compassion and lamentation. So here basically Prabhupada says now Arjuna was crying. So but he was crying out of ignorance. And Prabhupada says when a person is drowning, okay, अगर कोई व्यक्ति डूब रहा है, okay, somebody is drowning, how you can save that person? Suppose a person is drowning and you go and just hold his t-shirt, okay, and you pull it, and क्या होता है, instead of getting that person out, you just get the t-shirt out and you go and say, "Maine bacha liya." Did he actually save that person? So basically Prabhupada is actually saying that, so we should know where to apply our compassion. So if you save a person who is drowning, just if you save his outward dress, it is not actually saving. So here Arjuna is totally concerned about the outward dress of the people present on the battlefield. We are all basically material, we are actual eternal spirit having this material body. So when Arjuna was thinking about killing them, he was thinking about on the bodily platform. So he was not thinking about the actual spiritual benefit. So either दो example है, एक analogy of a person is drowning and that person next to it, he has saved his cloth. Okay, उसका shirt को बचा लिया उसने. So that is not actual what you call saving. So no one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, this gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Shudra. Okay, तो हमने बोला था ना 4 वर्ण and 4 आश्रम में. Okay, so basically in Kali Yuga everybody is by default is born Shudra. Okay, Kalau Shudra Sambhavah, Janmana Jayate Shudra Samskarat Bhavati Dvija. So when this thread ceremony, it is second birth. Veda Vada Bhavet Vipro. When you learn, when you get the knowledge, you become a Vipra. Brahma Jana iti Brahmanaha. And Prabhupada says there are 2 kind of people. One is Brahmana and one is Kripana. So Kripana are miserly person who do not know the value of life. And Brahmanas are people who know, who are actually, what is the actual goal of life? Attaining Krishna. So here Prabhupada talks about that now Krishna is gonna kill all the doubts of Arjuna. That's the reason he is addressed as Madhusudana. Okay, till now Krishna has not spoken anything. He is just smiling. Arjuna ro raha hai, Ashruk Purna Kuleshanam, he is trembling, everything. But Krishna is nicely smiling. Prahasaniva Bharata, right? In the first chapter, Krishna is smiling. Because उसने पता है उसको अभी मैं ही कुछ कर सकता हूँ. And now here Krishna begins to speak. This is the first time Krishna speaks. And ekdam kadak. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha. Kutastva kashmalam idam vishame samupastitam anarya jushtam asvargyam akirti karma Arjuna. So what is Krishna saying? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a person who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy." So पहले ही वो एकदम is not telling Arjuna, "My dear Arjuna, you are such a wonderful person. I did not know you have such good qualities. Your मतलब he did not embrace. चलो तुमको मैं अभी परम वैष्णव का from Shiva I'll call now you Param Vaishnav. मतलब क्या qualities है? No, he immediately from where have these impurities come upon you, right? And now here many people ask, no, why Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So in Bhagavad Gita, when Dhritarashtra was speaking, what was the title? Dhritarashtra Uvacha. So when Sanjaya was speaking, okay, when who else? Arjuna was speaking. Now who is speaking? नहीं, कृष्णा. तो वहाँ पे क्यों नहीं लिखा श्री कृष्ण उवाच? वहाँ पे भगवान उवाच क्यों लिखा है? So even if you take Bhagavatam anywhere, whenever Krishna speaks, what is mentioned? भगवान उवाच. So many people, अगर किसी को argument में भी कहना है कि how you all say Krishna is भगवान. So this Vedic literature, so wonderful. तो यहाँ पे then Prabhupada now explains we can understand Krishna in 3 different phases. Vadanti tattva tattvavidas brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan. So there are 3 aspects of understanding Krishna. So first is brahmeti, like if you want to understand Krishna is a Supreme Lord and from Krishna comes the entire effulgence. So that effulgence is also part of Krishna only. Okay, जैसे when you see the sun, you see the sun rays. So that is also part of sun. But second understanding is there is a sun globe. Okay, so that part is Krishna as Paramatma. And finally, if you enter into sun planet, there is sun god Vivaswan, and he has his kingdom. So that is like understanding Krishna in complete. Okay, so what you want to understand, only the first part, second or the complete? The complete भगवान फीचर, राइट. तो जैसे अगर ट्रेन आ रही है रात में, तो सबसे पहला क्या दिखता है? दूर से लाइट दिखता है, फिर थोड़ी देर बाद इंजन दिखता है. एंड जब इंजन आके सामने खड़ा होता है प्लेटफॉर्म के, अंदर ड्राइवर भी है, अंदर पैसेंजर भी है. तो उसी तरह से कृष्णा कैन बी अंडरस्टूड एज ब्रह्मा, ब्रह्म ज्योति, which Mayavadis are very much attracted to. Then second is Paramatma feature, who is localized aspect of Lord, who is present in every kan mein, in every atom. And finally, the main feature, which is we all are interested in. Why? Because when we understand that Krishna is a person, we can serve him, right? So because we devotees love Krishna and we want to serve him, we want the complete understanding, the Bhagwan feature. And he is the supreme personality of Godhead. And ये definition किसने दिया है? Who has given this definition? Parashar Muni, who is the father of Vyasadeva. And now, what is the meaning of Bhagwan? Everybody who had joined last year Saturday program, Sandeep Krishna Prabhu had explained this, right? There are 6 opulences. Bhaga means opulences, and Van means who possesses them. So there are 6 opulences. क्या क्या है वो? ऐश्वर्य, समग्रस्य वीर्य, यश, श्रिय, and vairagya. Okay, so Krishna has got Aishwarya, the entire, what he says, the entire creation is mine. Okay, so that is Krishna's Aishwarya, Virya. Krishna at the age of 7 lifted the Govardhan hill. Aishwarya, Samagras, Virya, Yasha. So everybody knows Krishna. In other part of the world, he must be known as Allah. Who is Allah? Krishna only. Some people must be calling him God. So who is he? Krishna only. So everybody knows. भले ही कृष्णा बोल के ना जानते हो, but they are addressing to Krishna only. So कहीं पे भी ऐसा है क्या जो God को नहीं जानते हो? जैगरी नहीं, G-O-D God. Okay. So everybody knows God. So he is famous everywhere. So Yasha. Okay. So Yasha, Shriya, Jnana. Everything comes just by breathing. The entire Veda come out. केवल breathing से भगवान का. So he वेदेश सर्वे अहम एव वेद्यो. आई एम द कंपाइलर एंड द नोवर ऑफ वेदा. हमको तो एक ये भगवद गीता के जैसे प्रभु ने बोला 108 श्लोका पाठ करना है, वो भी कैसे तो करते हैं हम लोग, और हमको लगता है हमको ज्ञान हो गया है. बट कृष्णा नोज एवरीथिंग विद इन 45 मिनट्स. ये पूरा भगवद गीता कितने में हुआ? और हम लोगों को कितना टाइम लगेगा? प्रभु ने बोला 3 साल. ऐसा 10-10 श्लोका अगर हम करेंगे, होमवर्क करेंगे तो 3 साल. नाउ कैलकुलेट करो 45 मिनट्स कहाँ है और 3 साल. ज्ञान एंड वैराग्य. ओके, कृष्णा बिल्ड दिस एंटायर क्रिएशन. वो आके बैठे नहीं, निकल जाओ इधर से, ये मेरा प्रॉपर्टी है, इधर क्यों? वो बीच में अयोध्या में राम मंदिर बनने नहीं दे रहे थे. राम आए क्या? मेरा मंदिर बनने नहीं दे रहे. नहीं, ही इज़ देयर. तुमको जो करना है करो. आई हैव गिवन यू दिस प्रॉपर्टी. ओके, बट दिस इज़ नॉट अ प्लेस फॉर अस टू लिव. तो आ जाओ मेरे पास. सो कृष्णा इज़ वैरागी. ही इज़ नॉट अटैच टू एनीथिंग. So here, Lord Shri Krishna starts talking, and first he chastises Arjuna. So it is very, very important. Whenever a person is on the wrong path, kabhi thoda chastisement is required. And what he says, Klaibyam asmagama partha naitatvaya upapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktyo tishta parantapa. So please don't yield to this importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of enemy. And इसके पहले वो क्या बोलते हैं? It doesn't fit a person who Aryan, okay? Kutastva Kashmalam Samos Anarya. Like you are born in such a high family, okay, and you are acting like a Shudra. So it doesn't befit you. And he is related to Krishna also. Prabhupada mentions, right? Prata, Kunti Devi is wife of Vasudev in that sense they are cousins also. So ये बोलते हैं like Krishna is indirectly telling you are related to me. I have a connection with you. So if you act in such a way, क्या होगा? It will bring a wrong signal. And finally, 7th shloka में when Arjuna understands, so another 10 minutes will stop. So ये सब होने के बाद finally Arjuna is saying कार्पण्य दोषो उपहत स्वभावः प्रचामि त्वां धर्म समूढ़ चेताः यश्रेयस्या निश्चितं ब्रूहितन में शिष्यस्ते हम शादि माम त्वां प्रपन्नम. So now I am confused about my duties and have lost all composure. Okay, 7th. So now here, finally here actually is the turning point of the Bhagavad Gita. So basically Krishna was waiting for this moment. So until no demand, no supply. So जब तक वो surrender नहीं करेंगे, Krishna would have not given this knowledge. If actually Krishna wanted, he could have given this knowledge to Duryodhana also, right? When he went as a peace messenger, he could have given this knowledge to Duryodhana also, ना? और ये युद्ध का ज़रूरत भी नहीं था. But why he didn't give? Okay? Because he knew that why waste my energy? ऐसे आदमी को देख के क्या फ़ायदा जो मतलब like he tells no what are the qualification? Bhakto, Sakha and Anusuya way. So you are my devotee and you are my friend. This is the first qualification. And second, idam tu jnanam akhyatam pravakshami anusuya way, because you are non-envious. Arjuna, you are non-envious. That's the reason I am giving this. So Duryodhana में quality नहीं थी. So that's the reason. So we should know to understand this Bhagavad Gita. Actually Krishna is speaking to us. So we also should have that quality. First of all, we have to be devotee. And we don't know, we might be not in Sakya Ras, Dasya Ras maybe. So as a devotee and as a Dasya. And third most important, Anusuya way. If we envy Krishna, हम लोगों को ये भगवत गीता का रहस्य कभी पता नहीं चलेगा. So we have to, मतलब envy is such a quality, जाने को मतलब it comes easily but doesn't go. So we have to be non-envious. Okay, so and finally now here he is saying, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of my miserly weakness. In this condition I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me. So here now actually Arjuna is finally admitting. अभी तक जो कुछ मैं बोला, like I spoke like a big scholar, but Krishna, please, you can only help me. तो अपने भी लाइफ में प्रभुपाद, I'll just read this purport because me talking is of no use. प्रभुपाद का ये जो purport is like a lecture only. Okay, listen to it very carefully. By nature, own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step there is a perplexity, and therefore it behoves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life. So we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master, not any spiritual master, bona fide. Prabhupada never अपने वर्ड्स में हमेशा वो ध्यान रखते हैं. Okay, so proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literature advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Samsara dhava nanalida loka. Okay, similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire and yet it takes place and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in disciplic succession. So it is very, very important. All of us who have been coming here, okay, miserly means क्या है? We can do something but we do not want to do. जैसे Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he had his army, everything is ready, but still he doesn't want to fight. तो उसी तरह से we also can be miserly in what sense? We have this center, every Friday अपना program हो रहा है, we are getting the knowledge, still we do not want to go ahead. अभी भी हम लोग डरते हैं कंटी पहनने में, that is miserly. This is not softness of heart, मतलब ये this is actual weakness of heart. जैसे अगर हम लोग अभी जब काम पे जाते हैं राइट, तो हमारे बॉस के साथ हम बैठे कहीं, तो वो बोलते अरे तुम कभी कुछ लेता नहीं, आज ले कुछ. सो एट दैट टाइम व्हेन यू रिफ्यूज़, दैट इज़ एक्चुअली क्या बोलते हैं, यू आर स्ट्रॉन्ग हार्टेड. अगर इफ़ यू फील हाँ आई डोंट कभी मैं कुछ लेता, आज बॉस के साथ ले सकता हूँ, सो देन दैट इज़ द माइजरलीनेस. सो हियर इट इज़ वेरी नाइसली एक्सप्लेन्ड. तो वी ऑल्सो व्हेन वी डू नॉट वांट टू डू समथिंग विच वी कैन डू, okay, because life may we all take risk, right? We all take risk. So if you are really serious, you have to take risk. ठीक है, I'll wear kanti, I'll start only eating prasad. हाँ, कोई support करे ना करे, Krishna is there, devotees are there, they will guide me, they will help me. आगे बढ़ने का है कदम. नहीं घर पे ये प्रॉब्लम है, आपको नहीं पता, एक बार कंटी पहनने के बाद अगर नहीं आप पहन के दो देखो, हाँ आपका हार्ट स्ट्रांग बनाओ. जैसे अभी अर्जुन यहाँ पे, हाँ ही हैज़ एवरीथिंग, ऑल फैसिलिटीज़. वो बोलते हैं मुझे लड़ना नहीं है, इसलिए उसने बोला क्या ये मतलब हिंदी में इम्पोर्टेंस को क्या बोलते हैं, एनीवे आपको पता है, ऐसा क्या बिहेव कर रहे हो, हाँ बी स्ट्रांग ऐसा. सो वी हैव टू टेक दैट रिस्क. ओके, नए लोगों को नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, अभी जो बहुत टाइम से है, वी हैव टू टेक दैट फॉरवर्ड स्टेप. ओके, अदरवाइज वील ऑल्सो बिकम कार्पण्य. Okay, and Krishna doesn't like people who are karpanya. Okay, a person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexity, but should approach a spiritual master. That is the purport of this verse. Who is the man in material perplexity? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In Bhagavad Aranakya Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as follow: Yo va etad aksharam gargi अविद्वास्मल लोकात् प्रयति स कृपणा. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs. So what are the problems of life? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. So these are the real problems of life. Okay, and because of these problems we again and again keep taking birth here and world like cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. So, वो बोलते हैं ना मनुष्य जन्म पायला राधा कृष्ण ना बजिला जानु शुनु विष खाइनु. So we are actually eating poison. If you have got this human form of life, you have got the devotee association, we have got Bhagavad Gita, everything, and still if we are not taking advantage of it, we are actually that's the reason this world is called Vishaya. Every other activity which you are doing is called Vishaya. Why? Because it is Visha means poison. So what will happen if we take poison? We will die. So इसके वजह से we should be careful. This human form of life is most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there are the Brahmanas, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize his body to solve the problems of life. Ya etad aksharam gargi vidit vasmal lokat prayati sa brahmana. So, Brahmana means just don't think that our caste Brahmanas and all. Here, when we speak of Brahmanas, one who knows who is Brahma Jana iti Brahmana. So one who knows who is the Supreme Lord. The Kripanas or the miserly person waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. In the material conception of life, one is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children and other members on the basis of skin disease. The Kripanas think that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of their children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for the family members and his wish to protect them from death were the cause of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. he wants to stop friendly talks. तो अभी तक जो Krishna and they were friends also, no? So now he is saying, let us change the, what you call, now I'll become the disciple and you instruct me as a spiritual master. And Prabhupada writes here, talks between the master and the disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. Therefore, there is no difference between Krishna within and without. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So here the most important point is we can understand the science of Krishna consciousness only when through the medium of bona fide spiritual master. And Prabhupada many times once he asked which is the most important shloka in the entire literature. So many people said Sarva Dharman Parityaja, some said this, some said that, Janma Karma. They went on and Prabhupada said, yes, these are all very, very important shlokas, but not the most important shloka. And then he said, the most important shloka is, which one? Yasya deve para deve yata deve tata guru tasyeta hi kathita artha prakashante mahatmana. So unto that person who has unflinching faith in his spiritual master, to such a person, the entire purport of the spiritual knowledge is revealed. So, until we have a guru, and not just have a guru, we should have full faith in that spiritual master. Just follow what he says. Then only will be our spiritual life become successful. And so all this rahasya, it is not just it's an open secret, but to understand that open secret, rahasya, we need the mercy of a spiritual master. Now, only after Arjuna surrendered, Krishna will start to speak. If he had not surrendered, Krishna would have just smiled and but Krishna knew, mujhe bolna hai Bhagavad Gita. So he inspired him. So Krishna is also inspiring all of us. Okay, this is for us actually. He is inspiring us. You have got this human form of life. I sent you Srila Prabhupada. I sent you such wonderful center, such wonderful kirtan, prasad, devotee association. और क्या चाहिए? कब सरेंडर करोगे? कब सरेंडर करोगे? इज आस्किंग अगेन. हम बोल रहे देखते हैं भगवान. वो हम अर्जुन के रथ से तो नहीं गए, लेकिन हमारे रथ से चले जाएंगे वो. बिकॉज इज वेटिंग, बिकॉज वो बोलते और मैं कितना वेट करूँ तुम लोगों के लिए. सो इट इज़ टाइम, वी शुड ऑल बिकम सीरियस. हम लाइफ में कितना रिस्क लेते हैं. कितने लोग पणजी जाते हैं काम के लिए, राइट. इधर रिस्क है कि नहीं, वो पूरा ऐसा इतना सारा हम जीवन में रिस्क लेते. तो भगवान के लिए आप एक बार स्टार्ट करो आपका स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ. कृष्णा विल गिव यू ऑल द, एंड इट इज़ वेरी सिंपल, राइट. वंस यू स्टार्ट, कृष्णा टेक्स केयर. ओके, डू नॉट डिले. प्रभुपाद वंस प्रभुपाद को बोला सूनर और लेटर आई विल सरेंडर. प्रभुपाद बोला डू यू नो दैट यू हैव अ लेटर, यू बेटर सरेंडर सूनर. डू यू नो यू हैव अ लेटर. ऐसा तो मृत्यु कभी भी आ सकती है, राइट. तो we should be fortunate to take this process. Okay, so we'll continue this study. We'll continue this. So homework में, yeah, next 5 shlokas please take it as homework. And अभी आज हमने जो किया है ना, I was just running to the purports and I'm not very क्या बोलते efficient with this PowerPoint. तो काफ़ी सारा मैंने आपको इसमें से दिखाया नहीं, but you all can read the purports. They are very wonderful purports. From 36 till Prabhu said 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so 1, 36 till 2, 12. Read the translation and purports slowly. 1 week है हमारे पास, आराम से पढ़िए. It will really add value. And if I spoke something which was not palatable, please forgive. कभी कभी हॉट सीट में ना दिस हॉट सीट, करोड़ कौन बनेगा करोड़पति, हॉट सीट रहता है ना. तो ऐसा निकलते हैं. बट आई रियली आस्क फॉर फॉरगिवनेस एंड इट वाज फॉर मी. आई वाज एक्चुअली टॉकिंग टू माई सेल्फ. आई वाज टेलिंग माई द पर्सन विद इन मी. सो यू ऑल वर हियरिंग इट. सो अगर आपको कुछ उसमें से लेना है तो आप ले सकते हैं. सो इट वॉज नॉट फॉर यू ऑल, इट वॉज फॉर मी. हरे कृष्णा. बहुत बहुत श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.